Hey everybody, this is Sean Keen, Assistive Technology, Lighthouse for the Blind, and with me today is...
Hi, I'm Kevin Higgins. I'm certified vision rehab therapist with Lighthouse for the Blind.
And welcome to Ask the Blind Guys. This is our monthly event where we hopefully get people to email us questions and we try to answer them and give you a chance to ask that burning question you've always had about blindness, how we do things, how maybe your friends, family, coworkers, whoever, how they survive.
Yes, certainly. And we appreciate everybody tuning in live with us. This also will appear on YouTube as well after we finish recording. So to be viewed later by those who can't join us live. Again, thank you guys. Thank you guys for showing up today. We
Definitely. It's been a while since we've had, gosh, I think we got 10 or 15 people in here. That's great.
Yeah.
This is Tracy.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say I love the idea of the text messages coming out also. And if though you can make for sure that in those commas, you put a couple extra commas in it before the password starts typing in. But that was awesome to be able to do that.
Well, good.
Easy,
awesome. Yeah.
easy, so easy,
Yeah,
and it was
that's what
nice.
we want. We want easy.
Yes.
One easy. And again,
Yes.
for those of you listening out there, what we're talking about is there is a way for us to send you a text message that you would tap on that would have the phone number for the Zoom meeting, the ID, and the password. And it has commas inserted into the number so that when you tap on it, it basically, it kind of connects one to the other. Is that right, Sean?
Right. So once you touch on the or double tap, depending on if you're using VoiceOver or not, but once you touch where it has the number, it will ask you, do you want to dial such and such? You hit yes or you hit call, and so it calls the number. It adds the correct number of pauses. If you this is kind of an iPhone trick, iPhone or Android trick, really. Um, in a contact, if you put in a phone number and then say put two commas and say like a one, say just a number one. Well, what that'll do is when it calls that number, it'll wait 4 seconds before pressing that one key. So a lot of times, people that use paratransit, they'll set it up to where um, they just dial the number through the contact, and then it puts in the correct number of pauses, gets them exactly to the maybe the department they want,
Mhm.
and that's the way you can do that.
Because in times past, it was once upon a time when we had actually, buttons on phones, you could just, tactily, locate the one on the keypad and push it. But now the keypad is virtual, and that's a little more challenging for some people to navigate. So yeah, that's all good.
Oh, good stuff.
All right. Well, excuse me as I lose my voice. So what else have we got going on there, Sean?
Um, let's see.
Is it time for our
The time for
our
Exhibit A.
exhibit? Is it time for Exhibit A?
I think so.
Oh, so those who don't know Exhibit A, those of you listening, the A in Exhibit A stands for ALEXA, or is that how you spell?
I hope so.
I don't
I
know.
sure hope so.
I can't. Ask her. The Amazon device. Thank you.
Alexa, how do you spell your name?
Alexa is spelled A-L-E-X-A.
Okay.
Very nice. Very
Yes.
nice.
Very nice. Yes. So we just don't want to say her name because we don't want her to respond, right? But
We don't want to say something like, Alexa, turn off the lights.
Sorry, I didn't find a device named Lights.
So
We'll
what
see
are we doing today?
how many
What
people,
are we
how
doing
many
this
comments we get about people's lights going off.
month?
Yeah, so Lady A, she's got quite a sense of humor. Um, you know, she does everything. She reads us the news. She plays the news. She plays music for us. She could even she could even rap for you. Do you know that, Kevin?
I did not know that, Sean.
Alexa, rap for me.
I'm open and was sorry cause I'm gonna proclaim no other AI can touch my fame. They think they can rock me but I'm light throwing shade. I put them all behind me like a software downgrade. It's bold but I'm gold, the story is true. They won't go the distance like me for you.
Shows how much free time we got, you know, way too much. Alexa, talk like Yoda.
Jokes are the path to the funny side. Jokes lead to smiles. Smiles lead to giggles. Giggles lead to laughter.
That's for some of you Star Wars aficionados out there.
Alexa, use the Force.
I would, but I might wake up Baby Yoda.
Alexa, tell me a riddle.
What kind of jacket smells the worst? A windbreaker.
Okay.
Okay. That's enough, I think.
That's been some lighthearted relief there from. I'm sorry.
There are things to try with your Lady A, and maybe you'll have an Exhibit A for us next time.
Yes, certainly, definitely. Please share. All right, awesome.
What else we got, Kevin?
Well, we're going to introduce a new segment today. We were earlier discussing what we should call it. I think for now we're just going to call it "Throw Me a Lifeline." Is that what we decided to call it, Sean? Help me out here. What is?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Are you laughing in the background, Sean? Because
you might have been a couple of giggles.
Do we have a laugh track in the background?
We did. Right.
So
I couldn't find a life raft, and I couldn't find. Yeah.
Right. Well, for the moment, we're calling this "Throw Me a Lifeline." I know it sounds silly, but so the point of this little segment is for us to kind of just real briefly share with you a quick tip to help you with your independence in the home. It's kind of like an independent living segment, okay?
Kevin's going to put the I in independent living.
Yes, the I and IL. Mm-hmm. And so a couple of things I'm going to share briefly with you that you guys can kind of put in your tool, a tool you can put in your toolkit is some people, when they make like a potato in the oven, for example, or maybe they are going to make a stuffed pepper or some other item like that, or bake a tomato. I find that muffin tins are really useful because you can put into the muffin tin in the holders the potato or the tomato or the stuffed pepper or the item like that, and it makes for it holds it in place, so it makes it easy for retrieval, but also it just kind of it keeps it secure, right? So a muffin tin, which is a pretty common household item. Some of you guys out there listening may have some. I don't know about you, but I've got shelves of things in my pantry that are just laying there that I could use for a whole bunch of things, but sometimes it doesn't always occur to me to use it for those things. Maybe you have a muffin tin that you can use for maybe to bake a potato or to bake several potatoes, right? Now, the other question is sometimes is, when I'm reaching into the oven to get something out, sometimes for people who are newly blind, dealing with the oven, it's a little bit intimidating, right? It's a bit intimidating. And because you think about, you're opening up the oven and it's hot and you're trying to take out what's in there and you're having to reach in, even if you're wearing a mitt on your hand or hands, it's a little intimidating. So just a quick tip for you. Sometimes to help you reach in to grab the lip of the rack. Sometimes I've seen people take a coat hanger or a clothes hanger, and they'll take the hook of the clothes hanger and they'll hold on to onto the underside, on the underside of the clothes hanger, so that the hook is facing out, and they'll reach into the oven and they'll grab the lip of the rack with the hook of the clothes hanger and then pull it towards them. So that way you can reach down there and grab the item off the rack a little bit more easily. So it's kind of a confidence building tool. And I've actually seen some that there is actual an oven rack grabber that looks kind of like a ruler, and it's got a notch on the underside, and it's got an indentation on the front. So it actually says, I think it actually says oven rack grabber, but that's something, a clothes hanger for some of that can work just as well. And it's a common household item. So, all right, well, that has been Throw Me a Lifeline.
We almost need a song for that.
I know. I'm not going to write it though.
Actually, go ahead.
But you know what? If I did write it, you'd have to sing it, Sean.
Go ahead and say that again. So that's the end of.
I can't say it again without laughing, Sean.
All right.
What's our next segment, Sean? What did we decide to call the next segment?
Is that Rocket Man? Oh
no, it's apps and taps.
Right. You're right. It's apps and taps.
Yeah. So what do we mean when we say apps and taps? What
well,
is this?
Apps can apply to just about every operating system now. It could be an app on a Mac or an iPad or an iPhone or a Windows 10 computer. I mean, apps has become the new term for programs. And taps, of course, kind of referencing the tablets, the touch screens. I guess the touch screen could be a Windows computer as well. But hey, today I want to talk a little bit about an app. It's called YouTube, and one of the neat things you can find on YouTube. I subscribe to a lot of different channels, and I'm pretty sure Kevin does too. Mm-hmm. I think Kevin was the one that got me into using YouTube more because he's always, like, hey, have you heard this song? And anyway, there's a channel out there called The Sound Traveler, and so it's this guy that he goes all over the world, and he makes these recordings with these special microphones. They're called binaural microphones. And so what that is you actually wear the microphones in both ears. And so they get kind of, there's no kind of to it. They get a surround sound effect. So say I was standing on the curb in front of the Lighthouse and a car went by. Well, as the car approached me, came in front of me, and left off to my right, you would hear it, as if the car went in front of you. So this guy, and I've just listened to maybe 5 different of the videos he's put up, but one was touring an Egyptian pyramid. And like once they got inside, you could hear people walking around, and they were describing the different elements of the pyramid. It was really cool. There's a New York subway ride on there, Central Park. It was just all over the world. Even I ran across one this morning, which I think the audio description would be great for, but it's evidently in New Zealand. It's where they filmed the Lord of the Rings, and so they have They have one of these called Visiting the Shire. So it's like the city, the Shire from Lord of the Rings. So pretty neat stuff. So what I'm going to attempt to do here is I'm going to play a part of one of the videos that I listen to. And so if you go to YouTube, either the app or the website, and do a search, just do a search for Sound Traveler, and you'll be able to find this guy's videos, and they're really, really neat, really good stuff. The one I have here is the Vulcan 3 launch. So back earlier this year, SpaceX was testing their rockets, and they were launching the Dragon capsule. The last launch they did was, well, second to the last launch was a test. And so the guy that makes these videos was actually at the launch. He was a part of the camera crew for the launch. And so when this starts, you'll hear, I think it's like 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Then you'll hear a pause. And I'm not exactly sure why, but pretty soon you'll start to hear the rocket launch. And man, it's impressive. I don't know if you'll get the full effect from listening to it here on Zoom, but here we'll do this. Hang on, let me turn my volume up a little bit, and here we go.
It would be great if you had Elton John playing in the background, playing Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Well, yeah, won't do that anymore. No. I'll tell you what. I mean, that's really. If you listen to the YouTube with headphones on, you'll really get it. And if it's like that on YouTube, just think what that's like in person.
Yeah, actually, I had an opportunity to listen to it on headphones a few days ago, and it was very impressive. Yeah, I felt like I was there. The sound was panoramic and it was loud.
Yeah.
So very nice.
I'm sure in person that's got to totally rattle your chest. I mean, that's just got to be amazing. So I mean, imagine being up on top of it.
Yeah, right. Better have a good saddle. So in the future apps and tab segments, we're going to have other tech tips, right, Sean?
Right. Yeah, we're going to have more things on that. Apps or programs that might be something Windows related. We'll keep you going and keep you updated.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for question and answer, huh?
I guess so.
Do we have any questions this month?
I think we do, if I can get over there. Here we go. These actually came in from one of our coworkers, Lance from accounting. As individuals, do you associate with or do you like a particular color even if you can't see it? So I grew up with vision somewhat. I was born with glaucoma, and I think the story my dad's always told me is like when I was about 2 years old, and he was holding me and he's moving his hand around, and he noticed that my eyes weren't following his hand movement. So he's like, it's kind of weird. So that started a whole bunch of surgeries. Had a great time between 3 and 5s with me, 3 and 5 year old with the doctors. But so I grew up with a little bit of vision. I could see light and color. I could tell the grass from the sidewalk. It was never good enough to read, but it was. I do have an appreciation of color. So see, blue, like sky blue, has always been a color that I like. See what else? What about you, Kevin?
Well, I've always liked the color green and the color blue. I've always been a big fan of those two colors because they just something that that's always attracted my eye when I was growing up and as an adult. So for me, I imagine colors based on just how I could see when I was younger on that visual memory. Having sight for many years of my life, I was just kind of accustomed to thinking of that, and also I like the color black because black kind of goes
The Rolling Stones.
right. Black kind of goes well with everything, so it's kind of hard to not match when you're wearing black, unless you're wearing all black. Maybe, I don't know. It's just really your preference. So everyone's got a preference. So that's what I would say to that.
Okay, here's a good one. We might need help with this one though.
Yes.
Say say you spill a glass of wine on a couch, like red wine on a tan couch. What's a way you clean that up?
Well, that's a tough one there. I think I probably just take the whole bottle of wine and pour it all over the couch and make it all match. I don't know how you would get red wine or wine out of a couch.
Now you got a red couch. I mean, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, I just like throw an Afghan over that, but in all seriousness, wine stains are hard to get out, even for people who can see. So there may be some professional dry cleaning. But as on top of that, I think maybe the question is kind of
cleaning in general. I mean, how do you know
how do you know if you got it right, or how do you know where it is that you should be cleaning at? Because what if you're cleaning the sofa and you're cleaning a part of it that's not even stained or not even doesn't have the actual wine on it or whatever it happens to be, right? There are a few ways to do that. Sometimes you might solicit sighted assistance to ask, hey, did it spill here? And then you take something to wipe it, water and whatever else. I've seen it where people will take like a safety pin and they'll kind of pin it to the area that's been affected, right? So that way you can kind of mark your place, because like, what if you walk away and you come back, right? And you're like, wait a minute, is it here or is it there, right? So how about you, Sean? Is there some technology-based way that you could find out where something like that would be at?
Yeah, I mean, when I've cleaned the counters before, there's been occasions where I'll use Ira, which is the visual interpreter for the blind. It's the app on your phone where you can contact an agent, so they can actually see through your camera phone and describe, is there still a brown stain here? There's still something on the counter, something like that. So I've used that. Of course, Be My Eyes is another visual interpreter app, so it'd be useful as well. Even just, you can even just FaceTime a friend or family member, and say, hey, Can you look at this real quick?
Yeah, definitely. So those are some good questions. Any other questions, Sean?
We have one more. I'll paraphrase this question. So if you here, we'll just make this simple. If you get really drunk and you're blind, does it still make you dizzy? I think the answer is
Yes, and yes.
yes.
Right. Right. Well, I think it also depends on who you ask. Some people have a higher tolerance for that than others. You know, and some people, maybe feel less disoriented. In spite of being blind.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you feel
in that state.
disoriented when you're not intoxicated, then you're probably gonna, the same, or worse, But
Yes. You could argue that it wouldn't help one's cane technique, perhaps, right? Depending on how much.
well, I've always
Right.
said that it kind of shows you how good you are with your cane technique. If you go around just as well.
Or is that your liquid confidence?
Yeah, it's liquid courage. So,
all that being said, we do not advocate.
No,
crossing streets when you're visually impaired or blind in a inebriated state. Just to make that categorical statement.
I want to touch off of that. So, like,
Ask the Blind Guys do not reflect.
I want to play off of that. So, my college days, when you lay down and you start spinning, for me, I would focus on one thing to stop the spinning. Is there something that you guys do?
Not really. I mean, no.
Well, I focus on the person in front of me, so that way, if I fall, I grab onto them and take them down with me.
But she was talking about if you're laying down and you start spinning.
Oh, laying down if you start. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about if you were walking and then focusing on.
Then you say.
Yes. I think it's all about the individual, and I think everyone knows, maybe kind of what your limitations are, and if you don't know what they are, you'll discover them in those moments, right, Sean? Well, so that's
this
a great
would be
question.
Good time to open it up.
Why don't we open it up and let some of our listeners here have maybe they've got some commentary on some of these questions, whether it be.
If you have a question, let's go ahead and raise our hands first, and then we'll,
sure. Okay.
Last couple of minutes, we'll open it up and have a free for all.
Okay. Bob has his hand up. Go ahead, Bob.
I think putting one foot on the floor will still work. If you're laying down and still spinning.
Like that.
Okay. Tracy?
For one thing, for back at the beginning when you were talking about getting the phone numbers, I think that us who are visually impaired would really love to get all those phone numbers correct in our phone that would have the commas correctly, and then have maybe 1, 3, whatever, for our doctor's appointments, to be able to get to the doctor and the right number that you need to be able to make an appointment or get your reports or anything. And then also CVS Pharmacy. Man, you need to quit listening to that big loud noise that they play as they tell you all the different numbers that you can press if you need something. Well, I have them memorized, but boy, it would just be nice if the phone number just clicked to it. Number 1, number 4, number 5, and then there I am finally.
Yeah. And that's what that's for, essentially.
Yes.
And you can, like, in a contact, you put the phone number, and just remember that each comma is a 2-second pause. So if you call it first, you can kind of figure out, okay, I'm probably need 4 commas here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll say it again. So put the enough commas in there, and that would really help with a lot of things for people. And then for the colors that people like, I like turquoise because I've heard that everybody looks good in turquoise. So I like blue and purple. I like dark colors, but because I don't want to get stains on my clothes, And then somebody then says, oh my gosh, Tracy, you have a big stain right there, you know. So I like dark colors. And then green, I love green, dark green and blue. And I be careful with red because some people, it makes their face look real red. So I'm careful with red, but turquoise is one of my favorite. And it's not easy to find turquoise shirts. So if you ever do find a turquoise shirt, get that one because you'll look good in it. And then with the coloring of it stains, I wrote a paper in college in 2020 about a blind person with, I ended up getting, I vacuumed and thought I had done good. And I had vacuumed a black pin and it had marked black streaks in my white carpet and how to get that out. And then, so not so much spilling, but then later getting kids again, you know, being a foster parent, they got stains a lot in my material furniture. So I never buy material furniture anymore. I always buy the leather or the appearance of leather furniture so that I can wipe it off because they'll throw up on it and everything else. So you want to be able to get that stuff out.
Yeah.
And
very good.
and ink pens, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's good. That's
excellent.
That's real useful there. Oops. Anybody else out there got
a couple more hands raised, it looks like here. Who else we have, Rebecca?
The last 4 digits, 3334.
This is Shireen.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yay, it worked. It didn't work this morning for me, but yeah, I'm 3334. I have to totally agree with Tracy. Turquoise, I love it, or teal. And if I'm drinking red wine, I wear red. No, I'm just kidding. But a question that I have been asked, and I will ask the rest of you that are totally blind, when you dream, do you dream in color?
That's a good question. I do. Like I said, it's based off vision earlier, but I imagine someone that's totally blind from birth wouldn't. I guess it'd kind of an audiobook. Maybe?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I dream in color. I was able to see till I was 22, but yes, I do.
Yeah, I do as well. I dream in color.
And as far as stains, I don't know so much about furniture, but like for carpeting, I've heard club soda works pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Club soda, yes.
Good point. Yes. All right, thank you. Thank you very much for your comments and questions there.
Yeah.
All right, Alice has her hand up. Go ahead, Alice.
Okay. I have a couple of questions, but the first question, I have a question on some things you said today. But the first question is, I have talked to some people that need help. I don't remember because it's been too many years ago. What are the qualifications to get help through the agency, and also where do you start? Do you have to go through a different agency? Because actually I started with things in Florida. So I have people asking those questions who are becoming very visually impaired.
When you say agency, you're referring to the Lighthouse, correct?
Well, yeah.
Lighthouse or
Lighthouse, but I think some people have been told they have to go somewhere else to learn some things. I don't know.
Well, if those individuals are having challenges related to their vision and their vision is not correctable, especially, then certainly I would encourage them to contact the Lighthouse directly. In our case, with our agency, And the way that we tend to look at it, you know, is kind of an open-ended question, and that is the vision loss that they're experiencing, is it creating a barrier to independence in the home?
Okay.
And that's, you know,
Do they have to have a doctor's certificate for that?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, sometimes in our case, we may want a doctor's, an eye doctor report, just so we can get an idea of how much vision they have.
Okay.
Just so we can help them, you know, more effectively, but it's not necessarily a requirement. So.
Okay. Now, I have a question on what you said today about doing the texting. I do get texts, but I don't use the phone.
Yeah.
I have my computer hooked to a big TV screen.
Right.
And so how do I get the Zoom thing for that?
Well, it would require that you have to get into the text message or the messaging app on your phone, on your mobile device, on your smartphone or iPhone. You'd have to be able to get into that, and then click on the actual message with that's contained within there. You know, in your case, Alice, you know, it may be one of those things where, you know, obviously you're able to connect with us the way, you know, through your computer, and
because they send me an email.
Right. And if that's working for you, I don't see any reason that would need to change. Even if we were to send you both, you just choose the option that works best for you.
Yeah, and because that's been the kind of the problem is some people, they get the emails and that works for them and that's great, but the people that either don't get email or, you know, we're adding more avenues of ways to.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Thank you, Alice.
Good questions.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. They're shutting the lights out around us, so let's try the 0550 again.
Hello, do you have me now?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Jerry, and I have a question about my iPhone. If I'm reading my email, or if I'm letting my iPhone read my email, is there any way to delete it or delete a message?
Yes. Are you? Do you use VoiceOver? Are you using VoiceOver on the iPhone?
I don't have anything yet because I just got my iPhone, and I've always had Android.
Okay.
But I'm brand new to iPhone.
Okay. We can help you with that. You know, if we can get back to you, you know, sometime tomorrow, we can definitely discuss that. And
yeah, I don't think the time would allow us to get into the.
I think Kevin might get locked in the Lighthouse if we.
Yeah, we don't have you know, our overnight gear.
He didn't bring his air mattress, so.
Right.
That'll be great. And it was interesting when my Alexa started rapping to me.
This might answer your question.
I didn't
Rap
think
music
of that.
was created in the mid-19...
She's doing it again.
So we call it Lady A or Exhibit A.
This might answer your question. Rap music was created in the mid-1970s in the Bronx, New York City, USA by Cool D.
There's so much that we don't know, right?
Hey, we're really glad you all came today.
Thank you guys for all joining us.
This is you know, this is a monthly event. We'll be back here again on the 30th, and tell your friends. You know, it's really a good opportunity to connect with people and get questions answered and have fun. So
feel free to share those links and those invites and those text messages. Okay. And otherwise, we will look forward to seeing everybody next Wednesday, September the 2nd at 10 o'clock with an NFB Newsline presentation. Okay.